Hello everyone. I am so glad you have joined me today. I love sharing my ideas with you and I hope I inspire you with today's creation. And here it is, a farewell to Blueberry Bushel. And I did the inside in the envelope. Join me in the studio and I'll show you how. For today's Fabulous Friday, I am doing a salute to the in colors, the retiring in colors. For today's card, I'm going to use accented blooms. I'm going to use that image and the thank you. I have a scrap of Whisper White. I have 2 pieces of Whisper White that are 4 by 5 1/4. My card base is Blueberry Bushel and it's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. I have my envelope. I have a plane going over. I'm going to use Balmy Blue ink and Blueberry Bushel ink. I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight marker for the centers. I have my tailored tag punch. I have the very last 12 inches. Is it? It's a little bit more, probably close to 15 inches of my Blueberry Bushel ribbon that I'll use. I have a clear block and some water and an aqua painter because I am going to be doing some watercoloring. All right, I'm going to take one of my panels and my image and I'm going to ink it up with my Blueberry Bushel ink. And I'm going to stamp it down here in the corner. I want to make sure this is on straight. So I'm going to stamp this down here, give it a few seconds for the ink to transfer, and I have a nice image. Now what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to do some coloring, watercoloring, and I'm using some Balmy Blue first. Let me flip this around so I get the ink there. I don't know if I'll need any Blueberry Bushel or not. We'll see. All right, and I'm just going to mix this up. It's going to be really watered down, but that's okay. And I'm not spending a lot of time coloring. All right, I gotta get a little bit more in there. There's that. I think I'm gonna do these down here. The blueberry also, or balmy blue, I should say. There. And my last one that I'm going to do is up here. Now your blue, your daffodil, your Blueberry Bushel, because it is water-based, will smear some, but it doesn't affect it a whole lot. All right, so I'm going to leave that with that. I had a lot of water on that one. And I think what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to use some Blueberry Bushel ink to do these little flowers down here just for some contrast. Oops. All right, so I'm going to take and I want to, can't go too far out or it mixes with the other. But I think this is going to be too dark. Let me just kind of, yeah, it's pretty dark. What I should have done was used a bigger block. There. All right. I think I'm going to put some of the dark blue in the center. And then what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to move this before I get it all over everything. I'm going to take the yellow and I'm going to very carefully color the center of this. And you have to be careful, because if you don't, you'll pick up blue and you'll end up with green. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm just going to scribble this in case there's any blue on it. All right, I'm going to set this aside to dry. I'm going to move this before I spill it. I have done that. I've spilled it all over everything. All right, I'm going to take my thank you and I'm going to stamp it with Blueberry Bushel. And I'm going to check it and make sure. Okay, yeah, I got a good mix. Good coverage, rather, not mix. Give it a few seconds for the ink to transfer. That way you don't get any spots in there that shouldn't be there. All right, I'm going to give that a few. Oop, I got ink all over me. I do that all the time. Right? I'm gonna give that a little bit longer because it's so solid. I want it to really dry. So what I'm gonna take and do is I'll add my ribbon, and I'm gonna add my bow up in the corner just for some interest. And this will finish out my, oh, wonder where that came from. Looks like wet. It's wet. Looking for my tearing tape. Hidden underneath of my paper. So let me get, because my hands weren't wet. All right. I will hide it. And I hope these are in the right spot. If not, I'll have to add more. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take this piece and I'm putting it right over top of that spot. This piece is going to go down here. All right. And then I'm going to put tape on over top of both of those ribbons so that they stay stuck down. That's still a little wet, so I want to wait a bit to let it dry. So I'm going to let this dry and then I'll come back and finish it. Okay, this is dry now. I'm going to take and I'm going to punch out my sentiment using my punch. All right, got that. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to create a bow. And I'm going to use glue dots to attach my bow. I don't want a big bow, I want a little bow. There we go. All right, let me get my glue dots. Okay. And I will trim this after I put it down. So I'm going to put it like right there in the middle. And not bad. Not much of this left that you could do anything with. You might be able to tie a knot with that, but that's going to be hard. So I've used up that ribbon. This is going to go on here at dimensionals, but I don't want to put it on there until I get my card base put together. All right, use your bone folder to give yourself a crisp fold. And now I need some glue on the back of here. And I want to take off those pieces so that that sticks down and that tape is really sandwiched between the two tapes. All right, flip this over. And there's that. And now I need dimensionals, which again are hidden on my table. So I'm going to put a dimensional on each side and one in the middle, I think, so it's yeah, I think I'll put one there just because I want it to be good and sturdy when it goes through the mail. No sense sending it through the mail for it to fall apart. All right, there it is. And add my thank you. This is a really pretty card. There it is. And make sure you do the inside of the envelope. Nice to see it carried through that theme all the way through. And I used the top of the stamp and just inked it up and stamped it so that that line didn't show. If you like my project, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel using the button below. Don't want to miss my ideas. Don't forget to leave me a comment. I have a Facebook group where I do Facebook Live on Mondays, lunchtime with Robbie at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and Thursday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have been doing techniques on Monday. If you do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be your online person. Send me a message and I'll help you out in any way I can. Have a great day.